This is a blitz game in the Ruy Lopez bird variation. The opening is playable. The problem is not the variation itself. The problem is what black tries to win before the position is ready. Black has chosen early activity. The knight jump creates imbalance and avoids a quiet Spanish game. That is a human choice. But once the center starts to open, black will need accurate timing. The early exchanges change the structure. White accepts the challenge and the center begins to open. At this stage, material is not the main question yet. Development, king safety, and central control matter more. Now the pawn on c3 is on the board. It looks like a target. And in blitz, visible targets are very tempting. But black still has to solve the king and the center. The queen is now active on a5. It creates pressure and connects with the pawn on c3. But the queen move does not solve everything. Black is attacking a visible target before the whole position is ready. White calmly improves the bishop. This is not dramatic, but it matters. White keeps coordination and lets black face the real question. Can the knight take the pawn and still survive? Black has taken the pawn on c3. The move is very human. A pawn is won, and the knight is not simply loose. It is defended by the queen. That is why the mistake is subtle. White's queen is now on c2. This is the quiet move that changes the geometry. The knight on c3 is attacked by queen and bishop. The black queen still defends it, but that defense is tactically insufficient. Black has castled. That is normally the right instinct. The king needed safety, but the earlier capture created two urgent problems at the same time. King safety and the knight on c3. White captures the knight. That is the point of the opening phase. Black won a pawn, but the capture was not stable. The knight was tactically tied down by queen and bishop pressure. After this, white does not need a miracle. White needs coordination. The king is safe. The rook can join the open file, and the queen starts moving toward the black king. Now white's attack becomes visual. The bishop joins the queen against the king's side. This is not noise. It is coordination. Black has to weaken the dark squares around the king. White takes on f8. This is not a random sacrifice. It is practical simplification. White removes a defender and keeps the easier position. The attack is now turning into conversion. The next phase is conversion. White's pieces work together. The bishop becomes strong. The rook enters the position. The queen collects material. Black's queen is still active, but the activity is scattered. Black finally looks for counterplay with the rook. The idea is practical, but the activity arrives on the wrong side of the board. The real danger is around the king. Counterplay is only useful if it answers the main threat. White's rook reaches the back rank. The passed pawn advances. The black king is exposed. White wins more material with check. The earlier capture on c3 has become a long-term coordination problem. The pawn promotes. Black can remove the new queen, but only by giving up too much. After the trade, white has the material and the active rook. The rest is technique. The lesson is not, never capture. The lesson is, before winning material, ask whether the capturing piece can survive. Here, black won a pawn on c3. But after queen to c2, queen and bishop pressure made the knight impossible to save profitably. In open positions, material comes after king safety, center control, and development. If this helped you see the position more clearly, subscribe to QuietChess. And leave a comment with the move you would have played instead of taking the pawn on c3.